Go back to OBS here, make sure that I've got my hotkeys ready to rock. Should be good. Oh, I didn't get my towels out yet. Well, that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Look at that. Look at that beautiful, magical thing. Right on. Welcome to episode 18 of Joy Pancakes. This is a live stream in which I, the Dan of Pancakes, craft pancake art designs long form on the griddle while y'all get to watch and give me some feedback and maybe make some suggestions for what I should make. This is not a request stream, so we aren't actually just going to be taking everybody's request and making as many pancakes as we can. I'll probably only be making about 2 or 3 pancakes during this stream, and I might even have to cut it a little bit short today just because I have to go drop my car off at the mechanic again. That's great. But yeah. So you can come hang out and watch me make some really beautiful pancake art designs and stick around for the flip, and we can talk shop, talk philosophy and stuff. So bear with me. I gotta go grab a towel real quick because I always use a towel to draw. Please, if you're joining the chat, let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching. Let me know how your day is going. Let me know what's new with you. Let's hang out. Let's get to know each other. I always do my best to try and interact with everybody that chats with me during these live streams, and sometimes I miss messages, sometimes they come in too fast for me, so on and so forth. This isn't set to auto switch, is it? Oh geez. You know, one of my least favorite things about this OBS thing is that we do different kinds of live streams, and we have to let's see, switch scene sequence. Okay, goodness me. Okay, is that working? Oh boy. Pearl, good to see you in chat, Pearl. Silly Things of Life. Misty, it's good to see you. Heaven Ferguson, hello. I'm doing pretty good, Pearl. Thanks for asking. Hey, Sky Kid, good to see you. Thank you, Heaven. I appreciate that. I'm hoping. Let me figure this thing out real quick. Mylia Presley, hello. Maya, how are you, Maya? Thanks for dropping that information out there. Automatic scene switcher. There we go. Start. Close. Okay. I think it's going to switch automatically now. I think so. I don't know. I just kind of work here. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Let me... Now, today, I'm starting with... I have one design in mind because Facebook went ahead and hit me with one of those, you remember this posts? Yeah, how you doing, Jeremy? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, Anime STL, our friend Jeremy runs the Anime STL convention here in St. Louis, and it's good to see you in the chat. Yes, we've started to, all these mistakes are delicious. Joy of Pancakes behind me are, they're crafted just like the ones I'm making on the stream right now. Which reminds me, where is it? Let me show y'all. Go to the overhead here. This showed up, and for those of you that don't know what this is a pancake from back when I still worked at the diner. This is Cthulhu consuming the world. Somebody came in and asked me to draw Cthulhu, the eldritch horror from H.P. Lovecraft stories, eating the planet Earth. And I saw that, and like you can tell that like this is a much different style, right? Like this is very much different from the way I draw them on the stream here. Heat toning, I was drawing with a drip cut. There's a lot of limitations on my process back then. But I think it would be really cool to try and redraw this. It's a little spooky. It's a little horror. So I think it's a good time of year for that. So I'm actually going to pull up a reference image of Cthulhu and see if I can come up with something a little bit more visually interesting and complex. That's kind of cool. There's a lot of cool Cthulhu art out there. Let me see. And Design Montenegro on Facebook says, hi from Ecuador. Cool, got somebody all the way from Ecuador. How you doing? Maya, yes, that's Jeremy. Sly Behemoth, happy Friday. How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. And let's see. You'll have to remind me, Maya. Harley Quinn would be a really good one. Harley Quinn is a... Okay. There's an interesting one. I'll use that as a loose reference, right? We got this here. It doesn't look like my camera is switching automatically, but that's fine. I'll switch to the wide and the overhead and all that stuff as needs be. So let's try some stuff. Let's try some Cthulhu redo. The eye is always a very important part. For those of you that have not seen our art before or are new to pancake art, all the stuff I'm working with, all these colors in front of my griddle and off to the side and these squeeze bottles, this is all pancake batter, just plain buttermilk pancake batter that we have added gel colors to. And so you're going to see me do a couple things, like for instance, I just turned my griddle on. Might not be able to see it because the chat window's covering that up. But that's so I can have a little bit of residual heat so that these first lines, these first little strokes here, will solidify. It sets them. Because pancake batter, until it cooks, is a liquid. And that's one of the things that as a pancake artist you have to learn to sort of work your way around. And so when I set the lines, it makes these first lines a little easier to control. So yeah, as I mentioned today, I'm probably not going to be able to do too many pancakes just because I have an event, a digital event that we're doing for a university here in the studio at, I think that starts at 5 p.m. my time, but somewhere in between this stream and that event, I have to drive my car to the mechanic and drop it off because it's acting up. So logistics just got weird for me today, but I've got the batter and I've got the time to make a couple of pancakes, so decided to fire it up. Halloween themed Hulk, that's right. Bryony Jackson says, hey, how you doing? Thanks for dropping into the chat. I'm glad you're doing good, Sly Behemoth. I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Shannon. It's good to see you. Thanks for checking out the chat, the stream here. Yeah, I think we could all use Cthulhu consuming the world, right? Eldritch horror, Lovecraftian horror is I've been seeing a lot of it lately. Which is, I wonder if that has anything to do with, like, if the human psyche is just being affected by all the things going on in the world today in such a way that we've got this unconscious manifestation of these giant evil gods. A lot of the media I've been consuming lately has these Lovecraftian elements to it. I know that there's folks that watch the stream have probably heard me mention this podcast once or twice called the Magnus Archives, which is it's a scary story podcast, but it has some hardcore eldritch Lovecraftian elements. It's a little bit more woke than Lovecraft was, though, which is nice. A little bit more inclusive. Actually, a lot more inclusive. Lovecraft was a bit of a problematic guy. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a really cool one. Buttermilk pancakes are best, Evan Ferguson. I tend to agree. The only caveat I'll give you is that we tried a brand of pancake batter once for pancake art that was it was cake batter, pancake batter. So it had like this, it was very sweet, and it was extremely addicting, and I mean, flavor-wise, it was the best pancake batter I've ever had, but it was really rich, really heavy. It didn't feel very good after eating them, so I guess those are all meaningful considerations. Thank you for the well wishes, Misty. Appreciate that. Michaelia, I love you too. Appreciate you saying that. Maya, when are we getting Discord? That is a fantastic question. When I get around to getting off my lazy butt and actually setting it up, I feel like every day for the last few weeks I've just been doing things by the seat of my pants, and I'm getting caught up, like as far as my mental health and everything is concerned. But it's been kind of a lot of anxiety, a lot of not really. I've got so many different things that I've got my irons in the fire of around here. Videos that I need to edit, obligations that I keep falling through, and then like car stuff keeps coming up, and things keep getting in the way and making things a little bit harder for me. But we're getting there. We're getting there, a bit at a time. The joy of Pancakes stream, just being able to commit to this a few times a week, that in and of itself has helped me get some stability going in my life, just because, hey, I've got people that are, you know, expecting me to come and make pancake art on stream, and I've got a reason to hone in and focus on something. It's given me a little bit of structure, which is nice, because structure has been a fickle thing since the pandemic started for me. And this, you know, folks that watch the streams know we talk a lot about how, like, we used to be an events company. What does an events company do when events aren't a thing? Nobody wants to host them, or, well, and even when people do want to host them, it's like I have misgivings about working them, because I don't want to come home and give my wife coronavirus. Let's see. So we got, it looks like the moon kind of floating in the ether here. Massive claws. Eldritch abomination. I'm not happy with how those claws are looking. I feel like I could probably do that better. That's fine. Everything's fine. Huh. Hey, Becca. Good to see you in the chat there. I am doing okay today. I'm very well rested, and I have a good first design here to craft, and a lot of cool people dropping into the chat, interacting, and this messy canvas. Okay, I need to wipe that down a little bit. Correct that. Wash your hands before you work with food, ladies and gentlemen. And non-binary friends. Because that way, you can use your finger to wipe up mistakes. Amanda says, wow, cool, I'm impressed with this artwork. Appreciate that. Is that Andela? Andela Petrovic? Hi, over on YouTube. How you doing? Archie, you caught the stream. Glad to have you here. And we're starting with Cthulhu today. And for folks that are just tuning in now, I was telling folks earlier that I'm not going to be able to hang out as long as I usually try to, just because a bunch of obligations are coming up. I have an event after this that I have to, a live streamed event that I have to commit to, and also in between this stream and that event, I have to take my car to the mechanic. So probably I'm estimating I'm going to do 2 pancakes. I'd like to do more than that, but that depends on how elaborate I make them, and this one's getting pretty fancy, so. Cthulhu, you're so big. You're so large. And in charge. Do my usual white highlights. Just the white pancake batter has a tendency to just be, that's a little bit too bloopy. What's up, Maya? What are you asking? How many mods are we gonna have, you're asking? Oh, okay. I'm not sure. However many we need, I suppose. Well, good to see you. Yes, what a big boy. Larg boy. Amanda, yes, this is a pancake. This is all pancake batter. So part of the magic of pancake art is that as I draw this, the line work I've put down will be covered up, and so there's this really cool moment at the end where there's a reveal, and everybody loves the flip. Everybody loves the flip. The flip is the best part, because then we get to find out whether or not what I did looks as good as I hope it does. And I'm finding out with you. I don't know how it's going to look either. It's part of the reason I love this medium is I always get that happy. Like when I make something cool, when I make something I'm really happy with, I get that surprise every time too. Like I don't, since it's in most art mediums, you sort of build it up as you go. And like if you're unsatisfied with it, you can change it. You can add to it, subtract from it, erase, do all these things. But pancake art is a little bit more limiting than that, and because of that, there's always this moment, the moment of truth, so to speak, where you flip the pancake over and you're like, wow, that looks awesome, or I didn't make that as well as I wanted to, or I see I made a mistake there, and it can be either really awesome or really, depending on, like, I've done pancakes where I've taken hours on a single piece, flipped it over, and they're cross-eyed, and I'm like, how did I miss that? Oh my gosh. But you get past a certain point and just the nature of the medium is that you don't get to see that anymore. So when I do pull something off that I'm really happy with, it's very satisfying. Becca Roberts, it's funny you're doing Cthulhu right now. I was just thinking about sculpting a Cthulhu mug for my friend for Christmas. I was going to make one of his tentacles the stem or pedestal on the mug. That's very clever. I like that a lot. Don't talk to me before I've had my morning. Or however you're supposed to pronounce that. The language of the elder gods. Goofy stuff. Amanda says, wait, so you're like the world's most famous pancake maker? Maybe. I'm not sure how you would objectively measure that. I have been around the world for pancake art, and I've been on some national TV spots, and I've got a product line and all kinds of cool stuff, but I don't have the most followers on YouTube. but that's because I don't make like social media logos. It's something about my soul won't let me just make, like I'll pander a little bit sometimes, you know, like I'll make bands that I don't know or characters I'm not aware of if our fans are really into it. But some of the artists on YouTube are just like, I'm gonna make the Facebook logo and it's gonna get 1 billion views, and I'm like, all right, man, have those views, whatever. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna make Cthulhu, and I'm going to quietly judge you. Or I guess not so quietly. Oh yeah, Bill Hader. Sky Kid mentioned I was talking about how like you can't always tell how a pancake's gonna look until after you flip it over, and Sky Kid mentioned Bill Hader because at one point, well, you can actually find it on our YouTube. There's a video of me attempting to make Bill Hader's face, and I fail it about 7 times. But rather than hiding those failures and just posting the final one, we decided, you know what, we recorded all these. Let's use them. Let's show off all these fails, all these failed attempts at Bill Hader, and make light of the fact that, like, this is tricky sometimes. And, well, and I've noticed also that some celebrities' faces, or just some people's faces, for whatever reason, are harder for me to capture. And it's usually people who have, like, Bill Hader's clean-shaven, white dude, brown hair. He's like very... The things that set his facial features apart from other people's facial features are subtle. You know, he doesn't have any, like, giant beard or scars, or he doesn't wear glasses, he doesn't have some iconic hairstyle or anything like that. And so in order to capture his essence in a way that other people know who it is, you gotta, like, play around with it a little bit more. Amanda, please hire me to make you breakfast every day. It'll be very expensive, but if you're willing to pay it, I'm totally down. Rahab, welcome back. Good to see you. Moreno and Musa, hello. Wanjin, hello on Facebook. Yes, the Bill Hader, Rebecca. It's one of my favorites. It's funny how that came together too, because I was basically beating myself up for not succeeding at it. And then I started laughing one day at my house because I realized, because it took me like several weeks to do that. Like, because I kept coming in and trying it, and my wife was making fun of me. She was like, dude, Bill Hader's haunting you. And I'm like, I gotta figure out why I can't draw this dude. And, I was at my house and I realized the potential for this goofy video, you know, this let me just be honest about my failures type vibe. And yeah, after that, I was like, oh, I felt like I didn't actually waste my time and energy, because that video wouldn't have done as well or been as funny or been as interesting if I hadn't failed all those times. So, case in point, mistakes are delicious. Becca Kennelly, Jack Skellington. Jack Skellington is a good request. It's very topical, very timely. We'll see if I get to that. Let's see. When did you learn to do this stuff? I'm confused, asks Amanda. I learned pancake art very, very slowly over the course. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. And when I started, it wasn't anywhere near this complex or multifaceted or layered and all that stuff. It was, I was just doing smiley faces at the diner I worked at, basically. That was essentially the long and short of it. And I wasn't using squeeze bottles or icing gels or any of these colors, or, I mean, it's like a totally different thing. In fact, the piece I'm doing right now, I'm actually doing a rehash of a piece I did when I still worked at the diner. Now I can hear, let me just pull that up real quick. As long as we're, yeah, there it is. This is a pancake I made at the diner almost, it was actually 9 years ago to the day. This showed up in my Facebook today being like, you posted this 9 years ago. And this was made using the heat of the griddle No colors in the batter, just using the cooking temperature to add contrast. You can see that that world got a little darkened probably. And I'm stepping it up a little bit. It's basically the same prompt, but I'm much better at art and design and rendering. And I've also found that these sort of glow up posts tend to do really well on like Instagram and stuff. People really like to see, you know, the before and after type things. One of the trends on Twitter right now is how it started, how it's going. You know, people like, it's with everything. It's with art, relationships, all kinds of stuff. People just like to see stories unfold, I guess, right? Like they like to see where things started and where they go, and how things change over time, and especially with related to people, how people grow, how people change over time. It's very inspiring, I think, to see. Because if you told me back then, when I made that Cthulhu, that one day I would be sitting in a studio dedicated to pancake art, run by my best friends in the world, and be making a rehash of that same design with like 30 colors at my disposal, and people watching me from as far away as Ecuador and India and Poland, I would have laughed at you. I wouldn't have believed you. And so it's crazy to have this sort of full circle thing happening. I really, you know, it's one of the things I actually like about Facebook is that it does that. We thought you might like to see this. Look back. Because every now and then it hits me with one of these pancake art designs, and I'm like, yeah, I should redo that. Lizzie Arlano, yeah. Says, came in late, thought you were drawing a thunderstorm. Turns out it's Cthulhu. That's kind of a thunderstorm, right? Anna, yes, it is a Cthulhu. Sky Kid, my instructor mentioned to me in class, humans love stories. If you can tell a great story and capture their attention, folks will want to listen. Then actors come into place and bring it to life. Yeah, stories are powerful. Oh man, I feel a Dan rant coming on. Stories are everything. And people don't, I think people are like passively aware of it in a way, but I don't know how much energy people spend thinking about how really important and transformative storytelling is. Because I think there's a lot of illusions people hold about systems, about institutions, and how immutable they are, or how, solid they are. And I think there's, especially right now in the world today, there's a lot of, we're doing a lot of collective unpacking of how actually flimsy our institutions are, because our institutions are grounded in stories. You know, it's like, for instance, the institution of money. This is something that comes up a lot, especially in the blockchain and cryptocurrency spaces that I like to stick my nose in. Because money is, we are raised to operate with money and to think of money as this solid thing, this immutable thing. It has value because, I don't know, because there's gold in Fort Knox or something. We all have some vague sense of understanding of why money has value. But if you spend any time really thinking about it, you'll end up coming to the conclusion that the reason money has value is because people agree it does. There is a story that we all have been told and that we continue to tell with our own power, that money is valuable. And the thing is that if something happens that makes that story less believable, then the money itself loses value. And I mean, money is just one example, but American politics world politics is another fantastic example where there's all these things, all this chaos being injected into systems that people have been taking for granted their whole lives, and now they're having to sort of reconcile the fact that Power doesn't come from some static imaginary institution. Power comes from who can tell the most compelling story and get more people to believe them. So I think stories are, you know, it's one thing to wax poetic about it in terms of like movies and art and how it makes people feel, but I mean that's real stuff, man. That's, I would argue, everything. And I think that if more people had a deeper understanding of that, I like to think that if more people had a deeper understanding of that we would handle everything in our lives a little bit differently. We would approach political elections, and we would approach decisions about what we're going to do with our lives, and with a different kind of gravity, a different kind of meaning. And maybe be able to connect with one another in more vital and useful ways. It's one of the things I really love about my story, and I feel extremely blessed to have stumbled into this pancake art world, because people like Sky Kid was saying that, you know, if you can tell a good story, people will listen and people will appreciate it. My pancake art story has opened so many doors for me, and I really do think it's a large part because of the story, you know. Like, I think and the thing is it isn't a story I really picked for myself. It's one I stumbled into. You know, I have a bit of a philosophical argument with folks that want to give me all the credit, so to speak, because I don't think I deserve all the credit, because I stumbled into it, right? Because this wasn't a plan, and it wasn't something I formulated in my own mind. Not the story, certainly. I mean, I had an idea to do pancake art at the diner so I could make better tips once, and I followed that idea, but everything that came after was just completely unexpected, out of my control, and there would have been no meaningful way for me to predict it. And so I have a hard time taking credit for where I'm at. I don't think it makes sense to. And I think it's part of the story, you know? Part of the story is that I didn't mean for this to happen, and that this was accidental. And I think that's also part of why people like the story so much, because they're just like, there's a sense of wonder that comes along with, like, wow, how could that happen? Crazy that just happened to you, man. And it is crazy. If you told me all those years ago this is what I'd be doing, I would have cackled at you. Looks like I missed a couple of comments here, but I have my Bluetooth mouse now, so I can scroll back up. Let's see. Anna says, looks cool. Silly Things of Life. Misty says, it took me one day to draw your picture. I failed many times, but I think that you think that it was decent. I do. It was really cool to see. I really appreciate you doing that. Becca Kennelly says, I'd T-Bay a Chinese dragon? Is that a suggestion? Anna the Hyena, still hunting that Lytton. Amanda Krieger, how often do you make pancakes, sir? I make pancakes almost every day because it's my full-time job. On stream, I do a stream about once every... we try to do Joy Pancakes 3 times a week, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And last week, or I guess, yeah, earlier this week, Monday and Wednesday, Ben and Dana, our other artists, took the stream over. I definitely missed doing it. I wish that I had done it those days, but I also really, you know, I'm trying to be a team player and share. And I want Ben and Dana to get into the stream and enjoy it and have fun with folks. But I also really, really love doing this. So we might work something out where maybe I can just keep doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they can do Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. Because this is my baby, I feel like. It's hard for me to share it. So yeah, I try to make pancakes, and then on Sunday we do actually request live stream. Let's see, Sky Cable live stream. Paul Dunn, Ben and Dana, how are you? Are they in the chat? Ben and Dana are not here at the moment. Dana's going to be coming in shortly. Let's see. Paul Dunn, why not use injection to draw with finer art? Hit hard with squeeze bottle. That's an interesting question. I don't know what an injection you mean. The squeeze bottles, I've gotten very used to it, and I have a lot of control over it. Can I eat it? Says Amanda. Yeah, these are totally edible. Yeah. With stories, you can also spread a message to the audience watching. That in turn creates folks who can relate, support, motivate someone to tell and do their own story. Yeah, Sky Kid, and that's a big source of the power too. Like being able to inspire other people and encourage people, and it gives you a sense of meaning. I think a sense of meaning for your own life. If because of your presence or your story or how you manifested in somebody else's life, you can influence them to change their direction, you feel more connected to the state of the world. It's a wild experience. Lizzie Arlano. Also, who knew you can now preserve pancakes? That's awesome. I love how much pancakes have evolved. You know, me too. I am stoked as heck. Well, and one of the things, y'all don't really see this part of the process, but over in the corner of this room, we actually have we've modified a paint mixer. A paint can mixer. So like if y'all ever go to a hardware store and get paint for your house, they will mix the heck out of it with a machine that like straps the can down and shakes it to Kingdom Come. We have been mixing our colors by hand. So like when I say by hand, what I mean is, we could go on the white here. We will cap these bottles and then shake them with the gel colors in the plain batter, and do that for every single color I have in front of me. And I've got like 25 colors right here. And that really wears out your arm, and it wears out, it takes a lot of energy, and takes a lot of time too. But now, and y'all can't see it, but we have modified a paint mixer to where I can basically add the colors I need to each one of these bottles, drop them in the mixer, turn a button on, and it will just mix it automatically for me for like 2.5 minutes. And we've been doing it for like 6 years. We've been doing it the hard way. And now, just in the last few weeks, just since I started doing this stream, we got this paint mixer. And I gotta tell you, man, it's a weird feeling to come in and have so much time to set things up because the mixing is automatic. Like, I've been doing this for years. This has been just this massive, like, these calories, I'm never gonna get them back. And I think part of the reason that it feels so cool is because the process continues to evolve. We've got the preserved pancakes and stuff now, but there's other ways that it's changing too. There's all kinds of weird things that are manifesting around me, and it's extremely cool. It's extremely cool to continue to grow as an artist, even as far as we've come. Let me see. My voice coach says I'm ready. I'd like to audition for your audiobook version. Well, shoot, Sky Kid, I'd be down. Anna the Hyena, could you do a Kraken pancake? I could probably do that at some point. I think you spelled it right. Misty says, our Silly Things Alive says, your story really motivates us and inspires us. I'm glad to hear that. Paul Dunn says, I like to draw fully evolved Pokemon. Or Pokemon Pancake would be perfect one for pancakes, says Amanda Krieger. Yeah, we've got, I don't know if y'all can see the Pikachu that I got up there. We made all 151 of the original Pokemon on a stream a couple months ago. And that was a really, that was an elaborate deal. Let me see, how am I gonna, who's evil? So we're gonna do some purple nebula style. I like doing this stuff to help add a little bit of character and texture to space scenes, Oh, griddle's on. Did I do that? I got this indigo as well. That way, the black almost becomes just like an accent instead of just the dominant color. Yeah, here we go. It's about time. Yeah, we can turn that griddle on. first pancake is gonna start cooking through here, y'all. Okay. Alright. Becca Roberts says, that's amazing. I need to get one of those mixers. I've been using my fiance as the batter mixer. You know, store-bought is fine, or whatever. That is, I think, you know, just call him your apprentice and keep that going indefinitely. Because this paint mixer cost us like a couple $100. And like, it's worth it, you know, because we make pancakes all the time. And we make so many colors. And then we, you know, preserve and sell them and all that stuff. So it's worth it for us. But I think, you know, I also kind of get a kick out of thinking about you just being like, hey, I'm going to make pancakes. Will you come mix the batter for me? Love. Let's see. Natalia Castillo Nieto says, hello. Hi, Natalia. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for checking out Joy of Pancakes. I hope you'll stick around for the flip. And oh, I need to go get my spatula, basically. There we go. Sky Kid says, for sets, colors had to be mixed constantly, but because I was great at painting, I was assigned to paint the sets. Silly Things Alive. Dan, do you ever feel burnt out doing this? Not this, really. Not really. Especially not the stream. The stream is, it is self-fueling for me because it makes me happy. Like, this is the sort of thing that, like, I'm not really making money doing this right now. I don't think we've sold any of the Joy of pancakes yet, and that doesn't mean we won't. And I think that there's a way to monetize this that wouldn't put too much burden on the people that are, you know, like we can do a patron program. We've got all kinds of ideas that we're just dragging our feet on because we're all artist types and trying to coordinate and figure everything out and constantly trying to stay on top of events and all this stuff. But we'll get to that. We'll get there. And in the meantime, this is sort of self-fueling for me because it's just, there's joy. Like I'm following my bliss as it were. And the Hyena says, definitely makes space scenes look more interesting. I like to think so. Maya, I love my Dan Cakes family, and I love you, Maya. Rahab says, hi, Natalia. Sky Kid, Pokemon live stream. My lord, that was a lot, but your team pulled through. I'm thankful I got to have one as a token memory. Yeah, I'm really glad you bought one. The Pokemon live stream, I was so bummed because it was a 48-hour live stream, and then YouTube glitched and didn't save it. And so it's gone, so people can't go see it. Can't go see that we did it. We can't share the link with them. But I don't know. Whatever, I guess. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for this Cthulhu Redux? I'm gonna go back and read more of these comments here in a second. Try and stay on top of it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. That's bright and colorful. Wow. Put a little damage there, but I think that's okay. I'm gonna have to scooch this over and snap me a photo. Bobby in the shop. Back in the shop, Bobby. Good to see you, Bobby. Welcome back to the shop. Awesome. Let me see. Take another photo here. Okay, I think that'll do. Neat. Let me turn that griddle back off. And I'm going to show y'all real quick what this is a remake of. This is from 9 years ago. This is one of my earliest pieces of pancake art relative to everything else that's going on in the world. Of Cthulhu grabbing and eating the world. Somebody actually asked for me to make that while I was a fry cook at the diner. And now I'm capable of doing that. In like, what was that, 30 minutes or so? Yeah, 40 minutes. So cool. Let's see. Glad y'all getting a kick out of it. Thanks, Kelly, Silly Things Alive, Wella, Bobby, Rahab, Amanda, Paul, Natalia. You guys rock. Let me make sure I don't miss comments here. Yeah, call Kyle your apprentice. Okay, scrolling back down to the bottom here. I mean, you could argue that Cthulhu is an alien. Okay, so I know I have some folks out here that were asking for a couple different things. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. So if you have any recommendations for the next piece, thanks, Shannon. Wait, hold on a second. It was a Halloween Shrek. Maya, you asked for that last time I was here, and I said I would make that. So let's do... No, Shrek. Hulk. Halloween Hulk. Big green guys. Forgive me. Thinking, how would I make a Halloween-themed Hulk? Because if I Google Halloween Hulk, it's just a bunch of Hulk Halloween costumes. Okay. That's kind of funny. Baby Yoda and a pumpkin. Hades. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, you're pushing my buttons there. Halloween Shrek. All right, we're doing a Halloween Shrek. DreamWorks, scared Shrekless. Gosh, the internet is so funny sometimes. I'm gonna do Shrek in a cauldron. I'm gonna do Shrek in a cauldron, and then I'm gonna do, I'll do something Hades after that. Wait, how much time do I have? 2:52, Jesus. I've only got time for one more, probably, if I'm gonna make it really elaborate. Okay, alright. Well, I'm gonna be doing 3 streams next week, so I'm sorry for teasing y'all with Halloween Shrek and Halloween Hulk and all that stuff. I will get to those at some point, but I'm sorry. I gotta do something. I gotta do something. Hades. Oh, let me see here. What's a good one? Ooh, yeah. Here we go. The character designs in this game, Hades, that I've been playing the heck out of. Cannot stop playing it. I beat the game, arguably. But I guess I also didn't beat the game. Because it just keeps on giving. Can you say my name? Natalia Castillo Nieto? Is that how you say it? I'm going to be drawing Chaos from Hades, because Chaos is iconic. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these little eyeballs. These little cute little eyeballs. Chaos is a really interesting character because Chaos is like the primordial originator in the certainly in the video game's interpretation of Greek mythology. Screaming. Awesome. All right, so let's see here. I need to make sure I don't make the initial features too large, because there's a lot. I'm not going to draw. I can't draw the whole body. I already know that, because if I make the features small enough to draw the whole body, the detail will be completely sapped out. more heat in the griddle here. Amanda, thanks for dropping into the stream. We hope that you have a wonderful day, and we hope that you'll check another one out. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. CDT. Turn that griddle back off. The eyes have it. You always got to make sure you get those eyes correct. I'm gonna go grab I've got a couple of these little Q-tips. It's another one of the things Ben brought into the studio for us. These help me, if I make little tiny detail mistakes, I can wipe them away with the tip of one of these little pointed Q-tips. So for instance, if I don't like the way I drew that pupil, because, in fact, I don't think Chaos has interesting pupils, because there's no, well, they have irises, but they don't have pupils, per se. And when I'm working with this tiny little space, the way I choose to render something like that makes a difference. Tiny details. Primordial originator. I think that's really interesting because in Greek mythology, it seems like Zeus is like the head honcho of the pantheon up on Olympus, and Hades is the equivalent in the underworld. But in most mythological accounts of the origins of reality, like Zeus didn't create the world. Zeus is the guy in charge of it right now, but in this, I think Chaos, the primordial originator, is sort of like the creator of the world, and the way that they tackle that figure within the mythos of the video game is really interesting to me. That they're just kind of sort of distant from creation, far below the underworld, sort of watching from a distance with curiosity and sort of a detached bemusement. Not really malevolent, which is actually one of the things I really like about the way that they wrote Chaos in Hades, is because, like, and they're not like a fickle trickster god like Loki or something like that. They're just kind of bored. Yeah, I really like the way that they wrote all the characters. They gave them all a lot of personality. Wow, there's so much going on here. A lot of line work. Something else I really like about the art style in Hades is the way that they use black a lot. It's very cel shady, very cartoony. Let me see. Yeah, let me scroll back up. See some comments here. Natalia, are you asking, do I have a snake? I don't have a snake, but I like snakes. I would totally own one. Sorry, I'm missing some of these comments, y'all. I'm getting sucked into the art. Tristan, hello on Facebook. Tristan, how are you? Silly Things Alive. Dan, what was the first video game you ever played? Super Mario Brothers. That was Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. There's a photo of me and my dad playing it when I was very, very small. Okay. Let's see here. A lot of shapes. The way that they chose to illustrate chaos is like this mass of, it's flesh and flowers and plants and wings and all kinds of shapes, just with this humanoid physique at the top. There's all these little accents. Just arbitrary shapes and forms, and it looks like what they were trying to go for is that chaos is sort of made out of clay. I think that's kind of cool. Just like this. It's all the different shapes and faces and images in Chaos's design are they're all the same sort of clay-like color, which is really interesting. And it also looks like they kind of, it's weird, but they kind of illustrated it as if this clay is like a coat or a cloak or something. Very interesting. I'm probably not going to draw too much of the body because it's giving me anxiety. But these wings. And horns and all kinds of stuff. Kind of nightmarish. But it's hard for me to be freaked out by it because I know how Chaos interacts with you as a player. And they're super chill. They're super likable. They're so just like, interesting that you've come to visit me. What's up? Big eyeball floating in the air behind him. I mean, that's a valid point, Paul. We have an iPad. I'm so used to using my phone that it's just something I'm kind of on autopilot with it. Little bitty dots in the eyes. Natalia, I saw you talking about your merch, which is kind of a spammy thing, you know, so that's why I didn't reply. Because I'm, you know, not trying to advertise things I don't know about. So I do see your comments. Silly Things Alive asked for me to send the reference picture. If you look up, I probably don't even need to send it to you. If you just if you can Google, or you know, use a search engine, you should be able to look up Chaos from the Hades game. And I mean, otherwise, yeah. I mean, I'd be completely happy to send it to you, but it should be something that you can find on your own. Purple eyes. What a mood. I'm gonna set those irises a little bit before I try and... Might have to goof my coloring here a little bit because I don't have as many grays as Chaos seems to have. If you think about it, Archie says, if you think about it, Zeus had lots of children because everyone was writing Mary Sue Superman like Hercules Perseus. Child of the mightiest god, they say. Hades don't get around much for the same reason. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. The mythology is always really interesting, the way that it grows over time, and because yeah, I mean it's just people bored telling each other stories about how things work, and then every now and then somebody who's a good storyteller tells a story that happens to strike a chord, and people decide, oh, we're gonna have to tell that story for a while, huh? I'm gonna spoof the color a little bit. We're gonna have a little bit of fun here, just because I don't have enough grays to do exactly what I want with this color scheme. You can see my process is always a little chaotic. It's fitting for this design. But like I don't always finish all my line work first, you know? Like sometimes I go back and forth, and especially on something like this where it seems like so much of the design is... There's so many little splashes of color in strange spots that it's easy to miss. Like they use weird highlights, and it's part of what makes the art style so interesting and funky, and part of why I love it so much. But trying to render it presents its own set of challenges. Because it's easy for me to be like, oh shoot, I missed that. You just kind of gotta let loose a little bit and that is a little bit off center. So we're gonna correct that. A little bit better. Not great, but whatever. You know what I always say, mistakes are delicious. I'm at least gonna draw down to this. There's an eye, like a weird sideways eyeball on Chaos's chest, right in the middle. Cool. So many little details. I bit off more than I could chew with this one. For sure. Gonna have to do some simplification, or else I'm gonna run out of time. Have you ever heard of the origin of centaurs? No, I have not. What is the origin of centaurs? Maya, I think no spam counts as no advertising yourself, you know? I mean, spamming is both repeating things over and over again. I mean, it's really just clouding up the chat with things that aren't, I don't know, chat related. Like, and to be clear, like, I'm honestly okay with people advertising themselves if it's relevant to something we're talking about, or if somebody tells me something and I'm like, oh yeah, well, drop your thing in the chat or whatever. It's just, I don't want to set a precedent where people feel comfortable coming in here and just, because I mean, I already have enough trouble once I get sucked into a design. I already have enough trouble staying on top of replying to everybody, and so it's just frustrating to have all the messages on my screen bumped far away because you know, somebody's trying to get my attention, or somebody's trying to sell something, or what have you. So I think that counts as spam. The 2 rules of Pancake Club. Please, talk about Pancake Club. I'm really excited about the background, because Chaos has this crazy dynamic eyeball thing behind them. In fact, I need to go ahead and... There we go. It's a little bit bigger than mine usually are. A little bit bigger. Becca, I grew up reading Greek mythology. I was one of those kids who always had a book on hand, so when I ran out of Grimm and Anderson fairy tales, I turned to original Greek and Roman mythology. I never got into Norse much, though. Norse is also cool. Actually, I mean, there's so much cool mythology. Hindu mythology is really fantastic. I've been, like, some of them, I would say my favorite story is actually African mythology. Ghana. There's a Ghanaian epic called the Dowsi, and one of the one of the stories is about this bard named Gasir, and it's one of the most, it's probably one of the darkest stories, like myth stories I've ever heard, and I just wasn't expecting it to be as dark as it was when I found out about it, and so it left such a huge emotional impact on me, and ever since then I've been kind of like we've all been, you know, the global power order education system, whatever, certainly the one I grew up in, really sleeps on African mythology and African culture a lot. And it's really unfortunate because there's some extremely beautiful things that, you know, I mean, you can make the argument that it's our shared heritage, and because of historical racism and political reasons and all these things over the years, colonialism, people destroying culture, burning libraries, we forget knowledge because we're violent to one another and want to destroy each other's history without realizing that your history is my history. And so, you know, years and years later, you got people like me that are like, oh wow, this is really beautiful. Why can't I find more of it? Oh, because we destroyed it? Great, cool, awesome, thanks. Way to go, colonists. Thanks for that. But the stuff that is out there is really, really exemplary. It's some of the most beautiful stuff I've heard, and highly recommend looking into it. I found out about it from the Great Courses lecture series. Oh yeah, Chaos has the Earth. This is interesting. I didn't even make this connection, but in part of Chaos's character design is that they're holding the Earth in between their thumb and forefinger. I didn't even think about that, but this is like, I'm doing another Eldritch Abomination here, huh? It's just a different interpretation of Cthulhu. I love that. That's so cool. Just pinching the earth between thumb and forefinger like it's a little marble. Yeah, Hindu and African mythology, there's so much good stuff in the world. Silly things of life. The centaurs were usually said to have been born of Ixion and Nephele. Nephele was a cloud made into the likeness of Hera in a plot to trick Ixion into revealing his lust for Hera to Zeus. Ixion seduced Nephele, and from that relationship, centaurs were created. Oh, Ixion. You goober. Making horse people. The first horse girls. Okay. I want black over here. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing it right. Okay. And it looks like there's a little bit of red there. All right. Lost in the sauce. Love that we're having this mythology discussion in the chat. That makes me happy. All right. Oh, I need to add a little bit of character to these horns. A little bit of red there too. There's all these little like sparks, little specks of super bright color just dazzling across all these little edges. Dots. The way they chose to illustrate and highlight this character is really fascinating to me. I'm not going to do it perfect, but that's okay. Burnt gold. Maya, I'm not going to an event. I'm working an event for a university, a live streamed event. I'm not entirely sure what university specifically, because I usually don't find that stuff out until the last minute anyway, because I'm in my own little art world. But yeah, every now and then we have, in fact, last night I was here till 10 p.m. doing an event. For a university in Tennessee State, here in the United States. I'm just taking requests from students, you know, having fun, making jokes. We got in a little bit of trouble yesterday because me and Dana and Ben were working it. We got a little carried away, cracking absurd jokes about as if the mountaintops of Colorado were covered in cocaine. The client wasn't happy about it. You know, mistakes are delicious. You live and you learn. Sometimes we get a little ahead of ourselves and forget that we're working in a professional capacity because our job is so freaking stupid. Very soft highlights here. Gentle. So. This is really exciting. I love seeing a really complicated design like this start to sort of take form and come together. Elaborate. Yeah, we've been doing digital events here and there, which are, you know, it's cool because we don't have to go and, you know, put ourselves at risk as far as health stuff is concerned. There's not enough people in the United States that are taking the pandemic quite as seriously as I'd like for us to start doing public events a little bit more openly again. But, you know, it is what it is. It's stuff that's outside of my control. Can't really control what the world does, but I can control how I react to it. And I'm very, very happy that we've been blessed to... we were very fortunate to have put this studio together when we did, because it is... we're finding a lot of ways that it is helping us make ends meet, so to speak. And, yeah. Little red spots in there. Sorry about that, y'all. Microphone died. I was, in fact, talking. I switched the battery pack, so hopefully you can hear. Yes, I was saying this is the last pancake of the stream. I have to go and drop my car off. If you want to catch another Joy of Pancakes stream, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time is when we run these. Usually I take a little bit longer and make 3 or 4 pancake designs. Today I only made 2, but we had a really good crowd in the chat, and I'm really excited about this one. This is Chaos from the Supergiant Games Hades, which I have on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it. All right, you ready for this? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Neat. I'm really happy with that. I think than I expected it to. I hate it. It actually. I think that's one of my favorite ones so far. Yeah, it's cool. The colors look really neat. And look, that's Earth. Kind of makes Cthulhu look cute by comparison. The size difference. So here, let me plate that. Hold that there. Yeah, this is gonna get preserved, so you know, keep your eyes out, y'all. Turn that griddle off. Pull the griddle aside so I can set these next to one another in the shot. Bear with me. We've got Cthulhu, which, by the way, just for context for those of y'all that missed the start of the stream, this is a remake of a pancake I made about 9 years ago. Much more elaborate, clearly, but this is back when I first started dabbling in pancake art. I was doing heat toning, and I was actually drawing, not with these cool little squeeze bottles, but with a drip cut, like a dingus. Very difficult to draw with one of these. Imagine, I mean, this thing weighs several, more than a pound of just pancake batter, and you're like drawing like that. Not the best way to get lines and stuff, but that's what I'm able to do with that. And now I'm able to do that. Cthulhu consuming the world. And then I made Hades, or I made Chaos from the video game Hades. The art style in this game is really, really cool. So highly recommend, if you haven't checked that game out, you do. I love it. It's such a wild, fascinating take on Greek mythology, and beyond that, the mechanics of the game itself are unlike anything I've ever seen in a game. It's really well done. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But otherwise, here I'm going to switch to the wide here. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Joy of Pancakes. We will be doing a live stream. The next stream is going to be Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That's good. Ben and Dana are going to be running that. That's our request live stream. So if you have any specific pancakes you want to get made, drop it on that stream, and you can get your pets, you can get your loved ones, you can get all kinds of pancakes. It's a quantity, not necessarily, like we don't take as long on individual pancakes. We try and make as many as we can on that stream. So if you want to get a pancake of your specific design, check that out. And then the Joy of Pancakes, where I make these long-form designs like this and hang out and we chat, and I'm really enjoying doing these. That's on Wednesdays and Fridays at 2 p.m. So, yeah, I appreciate everybody. I'm seeing all your comments come in, and yeah, we've got it on the video now. So, platform chat makes me very happy that we've figured out a way to do that. And I'm just really stoked that we get to keep doing this. So, thank you so much. And I will see you all on the flip side. Remember, mistakes are delicious. All right.